Hello, my friends. Let's make sure that we are live. Everything working the way it should. Oh no, let's see. Let's make sure. Just loading. Okay, perfect. What's up, friends? I'm gonna pop open the chat in my browser because today we're like a week or so into our regular Astro chat and chill. So what I thought I'd do is use Zoom, use the Zoom application. I'm just grabbing my ring light really quick over here. So using the Zoom application today rather than Twitch Studio, and really the only difference is that I can't see your chat box like on the screen like we can when I use Twitch Studio. I might go back to it tomorrow. I like literally have no idea. I thought that the audio and the video quality was better when we were streaming through Zoom the other day when it was like kind of an accident. So what I am going to do actually is just like very experimental. Let's see if we can. No, we can only go live one place at a time when we're gonna do Twitch. Okay, so let's go ahead and share the screen today. Oh, my Chrome is like pulled open to Twitch, so that would be pretty meta. Cool. All right. Well, hello, my friends. It is Monday, February 6th, 2023. We are here for some Astro chat and chill. Is that how I like make up jingles all the time for like everything, just if I'm in a mood to do so, just things become sung. So we can get ready for that. I hope you had a fabulous full moon in Leo weekend. I actually did. I went to yoga, my normal routines. But I also like was doing some work stuff on the back end, had some like really beautiful, like emotionally like heart opening, moments with myself, even just like doing some self-reflection and some like acceptance and forgiveness and giving myself grace and all of the things that I tell y'all to do that is like necessary in order for you to continue to move the needle forward. Like this is not just me like speaking, empty like platitudes or just like trying to, I don't even know. Like, this is literally how it works. People ask me all the time, like, how do you just make changes so quickly? Like, how do you just move with such confidence? Like, how do you, do something that seems so scary? And like, for me, it is scarier to be living a life that's unhappy or to be like doing something that I don't want to be doing or to be doing something that causes me stress. Like happiness is one thing, but like even just living in a state of like inner peace would have, like if you can't fathom even like getting to a place where like, oh my gosh, everything is just like, if happiness is so polar opposite, try like reaching for neutral, because that was really where it started for me, is like, okay, well, what do I need to just achieve peace? Like, what do I need to just be okay with my fucking life? And really like the grace, the self-acceptance, the self-awareness, like these are things that I have a challenging time like transparently like teaching. Like I don't know how to teach you to be self-aware. Like I try, but that is one of the beauty, one of the beautiful things about astrology is that where we either lack self-awareness or where we're just like too close to ourselves and our own situation to be able to see it for what it really is, astrology can help us in that way, like just take it out of our own like perception of the situation or who we think we are, and take a look at your birth chart or take a look at the transits. Like, for example, yesterday, I intuitively, I just like decided, I was like, okay, I want to make this post. Like, and I started making this post. I'll even pull it up on Instagram for y'all. And this was Sunday, right? It's a Sunday that I'm making this post. And like, we were talking about the days of the week, right? The Astro days of the week last week. Sunday is a day of like having a good time and entertainment and fun. And, you know, it's the day of Leo. And what a great time to have a full moon in Leo. And I made this post because I don't know, I felt like I needed to. I'd had so many people asking me lately, like, hey, you know, I've seen you have this like shift again. I'm really loving what you're doing. Like, how can I work with you? And so, you know, telling everybody about Astro Chat and Chill so they can come hang out with us. And then, you know, readings. I've got my membership that I just revamped. So excited. The feedback has been amazing. I love y'all so much. I love that you're here for the journey. Single sessions, and then one-on-one coaching. And normally this is like a very Monday post, right? Or even like just not something you post on the weekend, you know, like a strategic person or someone who's like more concerned about an algorithm or whatever would be like, oh, I've got to hold this, you know, for a different day. And there was something about yesterday. I was just like, no, I thought about it for a second, you know, I'm like creating the post, it's almost done. And then I just like stopped and I'm like, wait, should I hold it for tomorrow? And then I go and I'm like, looking at my transits, and this was maybe yesterday at like noon that I was doing this, right? So Saturn conjunct MC. What this means, my friends, so Saturn being, of course, we've been talking about Saturn quite a bit lately. Big Daddy Saturn, the ruler of, yes, you know, professionalism or career or whatever, but that's very distilled version of what Saturn represents. Saturn represents foundations. Saturn represents stability. Saturn represents the hard work and preparation that it takes to achieve something big, right? And so Saturn being conjunct my MC, this is not something that happens every day. Like, this is the second time this has ever happened for me. And the first time would have happened, oh my God, when I was like a pageant baby. Holy shit. Oh, that's fucking crazy. I've never even thought about that. I'm gonna have to like take a note really quick. Saturn conjunct MC. It would have been what, like 93? Yeah, like 93, because it would have been right before we had the last Saturn in Pisces transit. That is like peak when I was in my like pageant baby queen prime, like international pageant winner. Like, I walked into the room and moms would be like, fuck, like, so that's so crazy to think about. Anyway, right? So Saturn conjunct your MC being that big line, just like your AC or your ascendant is the marker into your first house. It's the thing that represents like how other people see you. The 10th house is like, not just how people see you, but how you're known in the world, your reputation, especially when it comes to your career. And this is more, I guess, for adults, although like I make this joke that I had, and it's not actually a joke, like I had a full-time job when I was a baby, but like, it's fucking crazy, y'all. Never even thought about the fact that Saturn transited my 10th house, like very early on in my life. Because my natal Saturn is right there in my 8th house. Wow. Okay. So, all of that is to say, like yesterday, just like listening to my intuition, like, yes, the transit is, you know, because Saturn moves slowly. So it's been very close to my MC for quite a while. Since, you know, January. Oh my God. I can help with. Girl, not a single thing. Siri, get the fuck out of here. Doesn't it freak you out when she does that? Stop listening to me. I didn't ask for this. Anyway. So yes, it's been, you know, it started January 28th and it'll linger until the 13th. But yesterday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, that was it being exact, like right on my midheaven line, right on that MC. So all right, like that was me listening to my intuition and being like, no, it's time for me to like be seen. It is time for like me to say, like, draw a line in the sand and like, this is what I'm here for. Like, no, I am not just your business coach. That was something that was such a knee-jerk reaction for me for a long time, because I could just get so real with y'all. Like, let me just get like vulnerable, like put my heart on the table. Like, I really just felt for so long, like if I wasn't giving you some kind of like material, tangible value, then like there's nothing like that I shouldn't bother. And like, this is just like, and it's not true. Like, that's just not true at all. And I know that. I mean, I know that even as somebody who understands sales and understands human behavior, like I know that people pay for things that are not just about money. But hello, second house Chiron speaking, like this is Fani, you know. It was just something that I couldn't wrap my head around, especially after everything that happened in 2020 and 2021 for me. Like I just needed, I had this knee-jerk reaction, this very fourth house Virgo South Node, like, let me go back into my comfort zone and just build you systems and build you things, because I want to make sure that I'm giving you real tangible value. And the thing is I'm like, that's the whole thing about the South Node. Like I couldn't not make it tangible if I tried. Like I couldn't make this like fluffy and like unactionable if I tried. Like that's just not the way that my brain works. It's just not the way that I do things. So I don't need to try. I don't need to emphasize that. I need to go reach into that 10th house, that 10th house Pisces North Node, right? And allow my intuition to guide me, allow my intuition to show me how to show you how to be an empathetic and soul-led leader, rather than everything being about systems and spreadsheets and fucking and about money, like truly, because that's the whole Chiron thing. You know, I've talked about this quite a bit lately. Like your North Node, South Node is a great way to help you realign your compass. But if you want to really deal with it and like ask yourself, like, why am I like this? Like, why am I in my shit? Go take a look at your Chiron, because it will give you a good look at that. So with having, you know, that transit yesterday, I just thought that that was too much to not share with you. Let me pop open here just to see if hello friend, hi. Just seeing where we got our friends in the chat today. So yeah, you know, I've had some really interesting questions lately. I'm gonna stop the show really quick. Had some really fun questions lately. I'm gonna pop open over to the chat so I can see y'all. Over in my Discord, I've had some requests for like famous people's charts. You know, this is a request from Natalie. She's in my mentorship level, right? My mindset or my moonlit mentor level of my membership. And she's asking for some activists to have their charts read. And, you know, I think that I might even have Malcolm X in my database already. But, you know, that's the great thing about these things, is that they're really easy to find. But if you have any other celebrities or any other like niche areas that you'd like me to go look at, like some other people, and like what are some maybe patterns we can see, or some qualities that show us like why they are the way they are, you know, feel free. You can always come over to the Discord and, you know, pop it into our Astro Chat and Chill section, or you can come find me on Instagram. I'm at Mama Capricorn. So or if you're here, obviously you can like comment below. That's always an option for you. Okay, so I'm going to go over to Astro again. Go ahead and share my screen. Cool. So let's go look up Malcolm X, because I do think that he's in here. Yeah. That's the wonderful thing about astro.com, my friends. And just to make sure that we are, yes, okay, cool. This is the really great thing about astro.com. And just like the internet in general, but especially astro.com, is that you can draw their chart. We use Placidus. We also use whole sign here. We've really been leaning into whole sign a lot lately over here in our Mama Capricorn world, and really only because it is so much easier to read. It's so much easier to show you and to help people to understand who maybe are not as astro savvy. And so we've been going with whole sign a lot lately, but something that I wanted you to look at is how it shows the data source, right? So literally this is like a birth certificate. Someone had the birth record in hand, and that's how we got the birth time and all of this information. Because sometimes you have to ask yourself, like, where did this information even come from, right? And there are some people who have conflicting birth times. Astro.com usually has the database of both. And I believe that this is like, so I believe that Britney Spears has 2 birth times, if I'm remembering correctly. No? Who am I thinking of? I was just looking up someone recently. Anyway, but let's not do this. Let's not digress too far away. So let's go back to Malcolm X. And so what we can do here, like, it's got the full biography. It's got all kinds of stuff. I love this. We can draw up event charts, right? We can draw up charts that they had like with other people, right? So these would be like synastry charts and composite charts like we've been talking about last week. But let's just go over to the natal whole sign. Wow, look at that with a Saturn and Scorpio in the 11th house. Of course it is. Oh, I love having, this is such an interesting thing for whole sign perspective as well, because when you look at a Placidus chart, the AC, the MC, like those are the lines for the first house and the 10th house. So let's go look at it again. Let's go look at it in Placidus, just so that I can show you what I mean. Okay, you see how these lines right here and here, right? And that makes these like very tiny and these very wide, okay? So this can be a little bit confusing for someone who's not necessarily as astro savvy to understand. But when we come over here, right? So in Placidus, his 10th house is always at 0 degrees Scorpio, which, right? And this is also, I just love this. It's just different perspectives of the same character, right? Different ways of looking at the same person, okay? So with the 10th house MC, with a Scorpio MC, what this says is that his career is known for transformation, right? He is known, his reputation is known for someone that is here to change things. Okay, like, hello, Pluto and Scorpio generation. We're literally here to burn the house down. Yep, that's our job. Don't feel bad about it. It's what we're here for. But when we come over to the whole sign perspective, right, this makes all of the houses right? It is whole sign. So they are all 30 degrees and they all match up to the signs. So because his ascendant is in Capricorn, that makes the first house it's all Capricorn. And then it goes from there, right? So that makes his 10th house actually ruled by Libra. And that puts his MC and Saturn in the 11th house. Now, what I find particularly interesting about this, hello, Natalie, this screams activism to me. I say this all the time, like the 5th house is the house of like, what do I want? Okay, like fun, friends, and flings. It's the house of Leo. The 11th house is the house of Aquarius. This is the house of activism. People talk about this as the house of like social groups. And people will say like friends, and I don't think that there can definitely be overlap, and hopefully, right, the people that you want to hang out with are also people that you want to be seen in public with, that you'd want to link up arms with and like go, rock it with, but that may not be the case. That's what the 11th house is to me. It is, who are the groups of people that I'm going to be collaborating with and working with in order to create the future that I want to see? That's the 11th house. And that's really what our whole like Leo full moon was about, my friends, right? Because it was that Aquarius and Leo juxtaposition, right? So I think that that's super interesting to see his MC over in the 11th house when we go into whole sign. It's like mine is in the 9th house. And so people talk, right, when we talk about like what makes that different, like what would, if your MC is in the 9th house or the 10th house or the 11th house and your whole sign, like what's the difference? So, and it's really probably not going to be much further than that. But transparently, I have done most of my astrological like exploration within Placidus. So I don't think that I've looked at enough whole sign charts for me to be like definitively say like, oh no, you don't see your MC in the 12th or in the 8th or in the 7th. I'm sure it happens, but probably like people born like very, very like North Russia or something, or like very, 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 very South, like Peru or something, like it's going to be like, or like Chile, like it's going to be somewhere that's like very high or low away from the equator, if you were going to have that happen. So what I see here, it's like if we have an MC in the 9th house, that's going to be more about what you are known for, what you're known for in the world is more about like your sense of like growth, expansion, like it's teachers, but like spiritual teachers, influencers, but like more about what they know or like what they believe, or, so this is where my MC is. So I see this as like very in line with, of course, all the astrology of it all, like having your MC or having like 9th house Mercury, both things that like say, oh, you're going to be pretty good at astrology. So that would be something, right? The MC, it's like you're more like spiritually inclined or more inclined to or more interested in different cultures and how different people do things. This also is like where I feel it's very kismet for me coming into my yoga teacher training this spring. Not planned. I do not necessarily plan things according to astrology, but I've been doing this for so long that I just like I feel like I am like in rhythm. And not always when I get up into my head and I'm trying to make too many decisions, like from a place of logic. And, it's like if I had held that post until today, like that would be moving from a place of logic versus my intuition. Right. And so anyway, that's where that 9th house MC kind of energy comes in. So people with a 10th house MC are very much like career people, leader people, even people who like lead leaders, people who are a demonstration of what it means to be a leader. And then of course, with an MC in the 11th house, like this is all about activism. This is very much about like bringing groups of people together, bringing people together under like a message and helping people to like create the future that they want to see. I mean, we're still talking about Malcolm X today, like he was born in 1925. Like he was, murdered how long ago? Like if we were to go look at his, like, it was in the 60s, correct? Like, yeah, his trial began, or the trial of the people who murdered him began in 66, right? So, right, February 21st, 1965. Holy fuck, y'all. Like, talk about legacy. Like talk about like moving, right? Like really doing something. Yeah, he made a significant impact, and that's just like one thing that I'm observing. If we wanted to go understand like why, what are you supposed to be doing here, right? North and South node, and then like why are you the way that you are? Like where, if you are, falling back into old habits, or if you're self-sabotaging, like these are the two things that I look at a lot. Oh my gosh, I love having the MC and the people who have a Jupiter in the 1st house. Like I cannot, y'all are just, it's like, look at me. I don't even know how else to say it. But his is retrograde, so that's super interesting. It's almost like, look at me, but like, don't look at me, having a North node in the 8th house is like here for transformation. And in Leo is like Again, look at me. But having it in the second, friends, how interesting is that? Because we've been talking about this Aquarius, Leo, dynamic. And so having the North Node in Leo and having a South Node in Aquarius, how do you think that felt? Having a South Node in Aquarius, but having your MC and your Saturn in the 11th house, AKA the house of Aquarius, right? So it's like the South Node in Aquarius in the second house is like, I feel like I need to change things materially. Like things are not changing materially for the groups of people that, like, if I'm not changing things in a tangible, I mean, this is right. Hello, hi, like my Chiron in the second house. But it's like, if I'm not changing things in a real material way, then like, what's the fucking point? And the point is that you're going to die and the people that you're living with are going to die. And it's not just about you. And it's not just about the people that are in your community right now. It is about the future. It's about the future and everything and everyone. And right. And that's very interesting. I feel like this is almost like, I don't look at people's charts. I mean, we know his story already. And this is where I say to some of my clients, like, I get a little morbid sometimes, but like, sometimes if a piece of your chart, you're like, I don't really get it, like, maybe you're not supposed to get it yet. Like, maybe it'll make more sense, like RIP, like when you're dead, it's like, if this is the complete story of who you are and like your whole life story, like some parts might not totally make sense yet. And like, right. That's good. That's good news. There's still are mysteries about you, still things to uncover, still things to experience and find out. Still ways for us to re-experience or reinterpret things that we already have. Like, I'm sure that he experienced this in many ways, but this also says to me, like a level of self-sacrifice, like a level of like, I mean, I guess wait, where's the Pisces? No, it's not in the 12th house, but the 8th house is the house of like regeneration, right? Death and rebirth. And I almost feel like having a North Node in the 8th house is this, like, for him anyway, this is not, oh my God, please don't just like, oh my God, I have a North Node in the 8th house, I'm going to be assassinated. Like, no, why would you think that? That's just maybe the way that, in one way or another, like, we don't know. I wasn't in his head. Like, we don't know what he was thinking. And yes, he was assassinated, but like, I think that he kind of knew that it was coming at some point. You know what I mean? Like, I've watched a couple of like biopics of his and, watch some documentaries, but like, there was a lot of danger around him. There was a lot of like it's like people who put themselves in these, like, people who are activists know that it is dangerous. Like, people who do what they are doing, people who or do what they were doing, even people who people just don't have this energy anymore. Like, I'm so sorry, kids, like, throwing soup on fucking paintings is not it. Okay. Like, maybe throw some soup on Nancy fucking Pelosi if you want to like try and do something. Like, throw some soup on AOC's fucking Vogue dress. All right. Like, do something that matters. Throwing a soup on a fucking painting is not it. All right. You can just like check yourselves, children. Anyways, these people were doing things that fucking mattered. Okay. Like, oh my God, the soup on the painting thing. I literally am losing my shit about it. Like, I just can't. Okay. Just wanted to come and check and see over, like, if I'm like, people are hating me on Twitch or whatever. You're not, everything's fine. And then let's look at the Chiron, right? So if he falls back into we need to give people the material, it's like, not enough. Why is it not enough? And having this is a very, like, this is heavy, y'all. Let's zoom in. So again, there are no such thing as cusps. Cusps don't exist. However, if they did, this moon would be one of them. Malcolm X had an Aries moon, and of course he did. But look at this fucking degree, y'all. There are 30 degrees in a sign, and they get all the way broken down. It's very, very mathematical. So it goes to like 60, right? So it'll be, right, 29 and 53. Okay. That is as close to 0 degrees Taurus as we can really get. Like it, right? Look at this line, this blue one right here. But it's not a Taurus moon, it's an Aries moon. And especially because we know for sure that his birth time was correct, right? And this is why it matters. Like, I wonder if we had shifted it to 10:30 or even 10:32, 10:35, if that would have changed it to a Taurus moon, but it's not. It's an Aries moon. And then having his Chiron 2 degrees away from an Aries moon, this screams mommy issues to me, because it's Chiron right next to Chiron conjunct the moon. So very emotionally sensitive. And in the 4th house, it's the house of home and family and the mother. And so I don't remember, like, just transparently, I really don't remember much about his early childhood, if anything. Like, I feel like all of the information that I have about Malcolm X starts at adulthood, or like starts when he's like still like not doing things, like he's like kind of a fuckboy or whatever, right? Youthful Black rebel. Okay. But yeah, burglarizing and just like, yeah, he wasn't like, and he even said he's like fucking around. But then when he like went to jail and like he served his time, he got like very serious and just knew that there was a lot of things that needed to be changed. And obviously he like joined the Nation of Islam, and like that was like his whole, you know, trajectory. So I don't know much about his early childhood. I think that I'd have to read about it. But if I had to take a guess, there were going to be some real mommy issues here. Either she was very domineering, or I don't want to like say violent, because that's not the word that I want to use, but like a disciplinarian, right? Someone who was, and I guess I say violent just because of the Aries energy, but you know, that's a super generalization. It's probably more so that like, just like a super strict mom, and maybe not emotionally available. But I mean, I don't know much about his life again before that, but if you're burglarizing when you're in, you know, in the 40s, if he's getting convicted of that in the 40s and 46, so he was only born in 25, so he would have been in his 20s. People don't choose, like, I need everybody to understand that like people do not choose to go into a life of crime. Like people don't, he didn't just like wake up one day and was like, you know, it'd be fun, like I'm gonna just like burglarize. Like, no, like most of the people, I mean, I'm sure there are, you know, there are people out there who are anomalies. There are people out there who like love murdering people. Like, okay, fine, right? I'm not talking about those people, but like most people who choose to do things, or who make choices, who appear to make choices that are not understood by society, whether it is like becoming addicted to substances, whether it is, you know, stealing from people, whether it, whatever, like it's because they are surviving. Like, and I know this is, oh my God, I hate that this is the first thing that pops into my head, and you're gonna like laugh at me like such a Disney like millennial kid, but like Aladdin was not just stealing a loaf of bread to steal a loaf of bread. Like he was hungry, like he needed the food. Like that's what happened. If he had the money to pay for it, I'm sure he would have paid for it. And like, so anyway, how I got here was basically, I'm making a whole lot of assumptions, but if you're stealing when you're in your 20s, it's probably something that started before that. And, you know, you generally don't get caught the first time that you do something wrong. And if you're stealing in your youth, it's likely because either your parents are like unavailable, either because they are, you know, whatever, like working, you know, and in the 20s, if he's born in the 20s, this is a time of extreme poverty, right? Like if he got arrested for the first time in the mid 40s, like we're talking about the middle of World War II. So finally the economy was starting to uptick because we were in a war, but like the economy didn't get good until the 50s. So his entire early childhood, his entire yeah, of course, fucking fourth house. Yeah, his entire childhood. I'm literally gonna have to go research and like get a book on Malcolm X now, aren't I? But like, I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that like his early childhood was incredibly unstable, didn't know if he was going to have mom there at night. And if he did, like, you know, have like his like needs provided, like, you know, maybe that was it. And like, didn't get the emotional nurturing that, you know, people need to be emotionally nurtured. Men, women, everybody needs emotional nurturing. Everybody needs softness. And my guess is that he probably didn't get that. And not necessarily out of choice, but just truly because like it just was not available. But all of that can make, right? So that really pulls the story together though, doesn't it? Because if that's how he was feeling, if that is like the wounding, then of course it would be the knee-jerk reaction for the South Node to be in the second house. I'm not providing value for people. I'm not doing my part. I'm not contributing. I'm not fulfilling my purpose if I'm not providing for the material needs of my community. Call it a fucking day, man. Like now I need to I'm gonna have to go just like research Malcolm X after this. This is the beauty of astrology, y'all. Like not only can we understand like the people in our lives better, but we can understand history better. We can understand just, I don't know. I say this all the time, and I wrote this in this post that I posted yesterday, but like everything has a purpose. If everything has a purpose in existence, amoebas, fucking fleas, plankton. If plankton has a purpose, what is the purpose of the stars? Why are they there? I believe that God does not speak English, that God does not speak Arabic or any other language known to man. I believe that the stars are there for a reason, and that is the language of our divine creator, whatever you want to call that. Source, universe, God, doesn't matter. But I feel that this is not just like a personality typing tool. This is not like, oh, you're a Taurus sun and, you know, Capricorn rising, so that means you are this. Like, no, that doesn't mean that you are this. That means that these are the kind of qualities or characteristics that come naturally to you. These are things that, you know, you can grow into. There's so much more nuance here. And just, I believe that this is like God's like thumbprint on who you are. And this is the story of you and your highest potential. Because I mean, even just like if I were to pull out, you know, like a picture of my daughter, right? I pull out this picture of my kid. Oh, no, it's not going to do it right here. This picture of my daughter, right? Like when parents pull out pictures of their kid, they're not going to sit here and tell you like, oh my God, like my kid, you know, she's great, but also like she can be really insecure and she can be blah, 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 right? Like all of the things that you think about yourself, like all the things that you think are so obvious about you and just like are your defining qualities or whatever, like that is not how God sees you. Like that is not who you were born to be. You are so much more than that. And that's what I see in your birth chart. That is what is here. And it is such a gift. It's such a great way for you to be able to, I don't know, relate to yourself and relate to the people in your life and better understand everything. Like if you really don't like someone, or if you really like want to have some grace for someone, if you really want to learn how to love someone in a different way, pull open their birth chart. Like pull open their birth chart, find something to love about them. There is something to love about them, I promise. I'm going to stop the share for just a second so that I can go ahead and pull open Discord. And you know what? Let me actually give you like a quick peek into our Discord. Okay, so here is our Discord. Now, this is actually like the full expanded version of our Discord. So if you come in here as a free friend, right? Just at the community level, you can do that and you can lurk, but you're not going to see this up here, the Astro Mind. What you will see is Astro Chat and Chill. You may see right, the lounge. You'll see some of the networking hub. You will not see the biz growth guides. And that I think is it. But you know, and just basically like some of these locked channels you won't see, because those are for people who are in my membership at the higher levels. If you want to get in on that, you can go to ko-fi.com/Mama Capricorn. And of course, I'll have all of that information. It's at the link in my bio on my Instagram. It is like literally everywhere. So but this is a fun place for us to be talking about, you know, you can submit your just whatever, like talk about the Astro chat and chill. And if you are here at the free level too, you can totally come down here and, you know, post up. It's just that I probably, you know, I like transparently may not get back to you as quickly or like at all if I've got a bunch of other things going on, because you are here at the free level. And I appreciate you. And you know what, actually on that note, what I will say before we go straight into our next little segment here and just talk about the Astro rundown of the week is that you don't necessarily have to be a monthly member in order to support or in order to show some love and appreciation. If you go over to ko-fi.com/Mama Capricorn, there are all kinds of things you can do. You know, even if you just support, you know, a one-time tip donation, just really appreciate you being here to allow me to continue to share this with people. This is new for me. Everything that I do up for the last like 9 years has been more like this, in packages and in you know, single sessions and things like this, like coaching. Like this is my bread and butter. Like this is what I do, is coaching people, and astrology is my tool. But it is new for me to say like, hey, I can get paid just to like be here and share this with you and share my perspective. And so thank you so much for supporting me and supporting this. If you do want to get in on the membership, you can pop this open and I'll tell you everything that there is available here. I also have some readings that are available over here for different types of readings, if that's something that you're into. But this just one question one is only for subscribers. So you've got to be at the membership level in order for me to do that. And basically what I'll do is you'll send me your chart and I'll record a video for you and send it back. So it's a personalized video reading, and length, I'm not going to necessarily like define, because I think that sometimes the answer could be pretty easy. And sometimes it may take a little bit longer, but I would assume that probably these reading recordings are going to be somewhere between like 15 and 20 minutes. That would be my guess. And then I've got this shop here. This is the 2023 Digital Astro Planner. When you buy this, of course, you're going to get, so I have it right here. There it is. Okay, but let me make sure that I'm sharing the right screen. Yes, no, yes, okay. So the 2023 Digital Astro Planner. So when you buy it through here, what you get is this full, complete digital Astro Planner. But of course, if you are in my membership or at any level, right, even the $11 level, what you're going to get is every month you will get a new, right, the monthly tracker, and you'll get the preview for that month. So don't buy this if you are one of my coaching clients. Don't buy this if you are in the membership level, because you will get it every month. But this is one of my favorite things. It's just a really cool tool for helping you to like stay in the flow. You know, as I mentioned, like I didn't even realize that Saturn was conjunct my MC yesterday. I'm very in touch with my intuition, with my body, with what things feel like, with what, you know, when to listen to different whispers or whatever. And then I confirm it through astrology, right? Then I confirm it. I go look and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, like correct, like nailed it, you know? But I usually, and it's just because I've spent all this time, you know, honing this. But for you, maybe this is like an introduction and you're not new to that, or you are new to this and you have no idea. So this can be a great way for you to observe what I call your patterns, right? What are your patterns? Like I know when actually Carolina, one of my private clients, pointed out to me that I tend to launch things, or I tend to announce things when the moon is in Cancer. I hadn't recognized that pattern. So I super appreciate that. But a pattern that I do know is that when the moon is in Pisces, I do not want to talk to anybody. I feel really bad about myself. I just don't want to do anything. And so I usually will take off when the moon is in Pisces. Like I just block that week off in my calendar, and I might do like behind the scenes stuff, but I just no client calls, you know, I don't want to talk to anybody because I know that I'm not perceiving things the way that they really are. I'm perceiving them through this lens of, you know, self-deprecation and self-loathing and doubt and all that stuff. And I know that none of that is actually the truth. And so I just don't have to give it space. I just don't even need to entertain it. I'm just going to do other things on those days and move through it. Right. So if you are someone who has a cycle, you might put that there. This was by request from the people in my mastermind. Today I felt, and you can fill this in, you can fill it in with an emotion, or you can fill it in just like you can type it in, like I felt like shit, you know, and you can do that. Overall energy level. So these are numbers. I do it like on a scale of 1 to 10. So it's like, how much energy did you have to work today? Did you have right? Maybe like 8, maybe 9. Okay. But maybe intimacy level, not so much. You didn't feel like talking to people. So maybe like a 2 or a 3. And then over time, you'll be able to track these, right? So like, in my vision of you using this, it's like maybe, you know, by the spring or I'm sorry, by the summer, by the fall, you're going to be able to see like, okay, you know, search for all of the days where you had your energy level at a 2 or, you know, whatever, because that is something that will help you to be like, okay, well, I'm going to take those days off. Like I'm going to, you know, where are those patterns? Was it all in, you know, the spring season? Do I notice that my spring numbers are very low? And then once we get into summer, they start perking up. That tells you that maybe the spring is your winter, right? Because that doesn't necessarily, just because, you know, the earth has seasons and you have seasons, but it doesn't mean that they are the same. Right. And so just there's so much to unpack with astrology. There's so much here for you. And so, you know, I'm going to be here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. talking to y'all and giving some Astro chat and chill. Oh my gosh, this is so like, right. It's going to keep doing that. So anyway, all of that is to say, so many different ways that you can support cosmic guidance, support the Astrology for Radical Self-Love movement, and support yourself, right? Whether that is, you know, at a more active, like mentored level, or whether it is just you are here for the information, for the community, or you want to just be here to support. So many different things to do. And if you want to just join the Discord, right? Maybe you're not ready to hop in and, you know, be a supporter or, you know, to financially support, that is totally fine. You can come on over to my Instagram. If you go to Instagram, right, /Mama Capricorn, and you go to the link in my bio, all of these links will take you to everywhere, right? So we've got, you know, Astro Chat and Chill, which you are here for. We've got my podcast, the Discord, and then this also has links to some of the stuff that I was just showing you, right? Reading requests, go to book a session, or join the Astro Mind. I will have private client session, or not private client sessions, private client spots, right? So availability for private clients opening up in March. If that is something that you're interested in, definitely make sure that you go send me a DM on Instagram so that we can book a consultation and, you know, talk about what's going on with you right now, what your needs are, and how I can support you. So I think that's it for today. Oh, no, let's really quick come on over and just make sure that we talk about the astrology of the moment. Okay. So we've got, boy, of course, moon today for like all day gross. Okay, so really just try not to deal with people that much if you can. Try not to allow things to emotionally like rattle you today. Mercury sextile Neptune, are you kidding me? At the same time, part of you may, it's like you have a way of that you want things to be, like you have a way that you see things are supposed to be, and just understand that everybody does, and your perspective is not better just because it's yours. Like your perspective is your perspective, and all perspectives are completely subjective. And that is where, like in my rules on Twitch, I have like basic plural rules apply, right? Peace, love, unity, respect. Here's the thing about fucking respect. I really, this grinds my gears. When we go to like a festival, we go to a rave, and these stupid fucking kids will be like, just acting out, like being fools, and like not like, listen, have your fun. But if you are disrupting the fun of other people, like if you are being like literally disregarding other people's ability to like have a good time also, so maybe that is like shoving your way to the front, right? Like elbowing people and like not saying excuse me, or not saying like, oh, like giving people like a little like rave wave, you know, whatever. Like you can walk by me in the crowd, like let's like dance together while you're doing it or something, or like give me a little, or like, oh, sorry, like anything, any acknowledgement that I'm literally existing here as a person also. And when you try to be like, dude, not cool, they'll be like, it's not very plur, like be more plur. Like I picked a fight with John Summit after EDC Orlando because I felt that he did not care about the safety of his fans. Bottom line, he didn't care about the safety of his fans in that moment, and he cared more about like looking cool and being John Summit and like whatever. Like you're a fucking douchebag, dude, and I don't even care. But people were like coming at me being like, oh, you're not being very plur. And I'm like, no, he is not being very fucking plur. Respect doesn't mean like I can do whatever I want, and if you don't, like, you need to respect it. No, respect is like, and I don't, or you need to like it. Like what, like, no, I don't need to like what you do. You don't need to like what I do. You need to have respect for me as a human being, though. You need to have respect that I have just as much of a right to be here, to take up space, to breathe fucking air, and to have my thoughts as you. And that's where we draw the fucking line. Okay. So you're going to have your way of doing things. You're going to have your way of thinking about things. You're going to have your own perspective. And that's great. Good for you. I love that for you. And just because it gets challenged doesn't necessarily mean that you're wrong either, but it doesn't mean that they are wrong. There is space for both. Okay. So be fucking careful with just like any interactions with other people from now until like the late afternoon. For those of us here on the East Coast, you know, you can adjust that timing accordingly. And then we go into a Virgo moon, and like, I'm fine with that. Like, I'm fine with that. I mean, it's going to happen. It's whatever. But Virgo can be, right? It can be a harsh sign. It's not like an emotionally sensitive sign. So when the moon is in Virgo, like it's akin to like a nurse, right? So it's more like, here's your medicine, like you need it, you know, and it's because I care that I'm giving this to you. But it's not necessarily like a sweet and empathetic sort of like love, you know. Let's see what's going on tomorrow. Oh my gosh, so much happening tomorrow. Let's leave tomorrow for tomorrow. let's leave today for today. We've got enough going on. That's why we're here every day. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for catching the replay. If you're over on YouTube, say what's up. Make sure that you comment below and come over and join me over on Twitch if you can, 9 a.m. Monday through Friday for some Astro Chat and Chill. If you'd like to submit a chart or get, perspective on like a specific thing that's going on. Maybe it's a current event, maybe it is a celebrity, maybe it is a past event, whatever. I'm here to talk about it. Astro Chat and Chill, it's what it's all about. And with that said, I hope that you have a wonderful moon day, right? It is the day of the moon, the day of Cancer. So take some time to love on yourself, to nurture yourself, and to like do some house cleaning, whatever that means to you. So whether that's like literally cleaning up house or whether that's doing just like a little bit of upkeep admin kind of house cleaning stuff. Take care of you today. Take care of you so you can take care of others. Okay. And I'll see you tomorrow.